Hello and welcome to this edition of Eat Right with Rouses. I'm your host, Keith Weissite. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. As you can tell, we are right here in beautiful Rouses, and we are joined in studio by April Sins. Hello, April.
Hello, Keith. Thanks for having me today.
We appreciate it so very much. Thank you for joining us here as we celebrate November. Lots and lots of people dealing with lots of issues, but down in South Louisiana, we deal with diabetes quite a bit. Very glad that Rouses has some answers for us because we've got a lot of people that are really being affected by that.
Very relevant topic. In November, it's actually Diabetes Awareness Month. And so I thought it would be interesting to talk about, some statistics around that because it's not uncommon that we either know somebody with diabetes, maybe we're struggling with diabetes ourselves, maybe it's pre-diabetes. So I thought it would be good to show some statistics because it is very sort of common in Louisiana. So it is something very important to pay attention to and to be aware of. So let's talk about a few things. I got these off of the American Diabetes Association website, and this is specific for Louisiana. Wow. These are just adult statistics, not having to do with children, adolescents, or anything. Okay. But every year, about over 27,000 people in Louisiana are diagnosed with diabetes. That's a large amount of people.
Yes.
Another thing is that 14% or plus or of the adult population in Louisiana have been diagnosed with diabetes. And then 34% of adults have pre-diabetes, which means that, you're predisposed to diabetes.
Right.
And so it is very common. So it is good to think about, okay, what can we do shopping-wise at the grocery store to be able to help with this and also help our loved ones that might have this issue as well. Right. So let's put some grocery shopping tips together.
Okay.
Now, a lot of the things that you can do happen before you even hit the store.
Right. They can happen at home before you leave.
They can happen at home before you leave. Exactly. So the first thing you want to do is plan before you shop.
Right.
You want to look and see, okay, what am I going to be cooking? And the reason why I say plan before you shop, and look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say that I don't just go to the store sometimes without doing that. But what the best thing to do is when you plan before you shop, you have a plan in place of what you're going to cook.
Right.
You're going to buy specific things to go for that meal. And then you're going to have less food waste, probably save on your grocery bill as well.
Right. And probably much healthier.
And probably much healthier because you're going to be sticking to that list.
To the plan.
And that plan, exactly. So the second thing is going to be to shop your pantry and your refrigerator first. And that's going to help you prevent food waste. A lot of people are really worried about that. They're like, I hate to throw this away. I spent these dollars on this. I don't really want to throw it away. So what can you use? What leftovers can you use? Maybe add to a dish. And also, what's in your pantry? You might have something in your pantry that you bought before and you forgot about it. So make sure you check that. Have you ever been to the store and you didn't have a list with you and then you bought another jar of mayonnaise or another bottle of ketchup? You go home and you already have 2 of them.
Right.
So that's a great way to stick to the plan. Also, categorize your list. And that way you can shop without having to go back and forth and kind of getting frustrated or maybe forgetting something that's on your list because you're on the wrong aisle. So plan, put your fruits and vegetables on there. Make sure you're shopping with a variety of foods. Make sure you have that in your plan. Also, grains, your meats, your poultry, your fish, your dairy, and your frozen foods. Plan those on your list and categorize that list. And then what is a new food or a new spice that you might want to add some variety to your meals? Mm-hmm. Looking in the Rouses produce department, I'm sure you can find some type of fruit or vegetable that you've probably never tried before.
Right.
Or maybe you've tried it in the past and you didn't even either know how to prepare it, or maybe you just didn't know what to do with it, or maybe you just cooked it a different way and you could try it another way. So, yeah.
And so let's say, you just found out, your doctor said, look, you're pre-diabetic, you're predisposed to get this condition. Go and get spaghetti squash instead of pasta.
Yes.
And find a way to do that nice and easy to be able to do.
Exactly. I really like to encourage people to add more vegetables to your list because that is a good way to add more to your plate and you have more nutrition, you have more fiber, all those things. And then I want to show you a picture of a plate. So this is off of the American Diabetes website, and the plate shows where you fill half of your plate with vegetables. So that's a great way to try new vegetables. It doesn't have to all be the same vegetable too.
No.
You could have 2 different kinds of vegetables
Sure.
on there if you want. And then a fourth of the plate is your carbohydrate type of foods, which could either be a starchy vegetable like potatoes, or it could be a rice or something like that. And then protein foods in that other quarter of the plate. You can see on the example that's next to it, you don't have to set your plate up exactly like that.
Right.
But just having those items on your plate. And then fun fact, there's a piece of bacon on there. Bacon actually counts, pork bacon actually counts as a fat. If you get turkey bacon or a chicken bacon, then that does count as a protein. So, and then don't forget about your dairy. Some yogurt with blueberries, fantastic. And then there's another picture with a more of like a lunch or a dinner meal.
Right.
Half of the plate vegetables, another quarter of the plate they have some mashed potatoes on there, and then another quarter of the plate is like a meatloaf example, and then having some water, some milk, something like that with that plate. So having the variety of foods, combining different food groups is actually a great way to make sure you have a variety of nutrients, but also a great way to have a variety of macronutrients like your carbohydrates, your protein, and your starches.
And knowing how to blend that and balance that.
Yeah.
And then you can add, like you said, the best way that we can really increase fruits and vegetables is to add those things to our diet.
Right.
And adding those things to some other things that we have. So
Exactly.
really, really cool. Awesome. Great recommendations. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks
we
so much.
appreciate it. All right, guys, and that will do it for this particular segment of Eat Right with Rouses. But don't go anywhere. A whole lot more right here on HTV.